The Chest of Fortune, the pride and joy of Season 9. Also described as the egg, everyone wants one. Correct that, everyone wants 30. Why? To show to everyone else that you've done the same content at least 30 times. Or you waited for some poor sod to complete the whole event and then rob them blind. So they have to do it at least one more time, you bad, naughty pirate. And what that actually means is you get these swanky new sails, a swanky new hull, and a hydra for a figurehead. There's also the Reaper bounties dotted around the map that offers you weapons, but for some reason no one's really fussed about those. And where do you find this prized casket of Season 9? Only at the Fort of Fortune, the big red skull in the sky. Not to be confused with its edgier cousin.
Look, calculated.
When these skulls pop up, the mad rush is on.
Oh, what?
All bets are off. Use whatever tools you have available, as it's all on the line for this one chest. And due to how long it takes to actually complete, with the sponge boss thrown in at the very end for good measure, then there's a high chance that players from the far reaches of the map will drop everything and come and pay it a visit. That said, it also offers an almost immediate rank 5 for all factions given the amount of treasure inside, so it's a good way to start your session for emissary value. Get ready for a scrap. Get ready for the next battle. Starting with one of my first attempts at a Fort of Fortune, open crew, I had just purchased my first brig, and this was its maiden voyage. I trusted someone more capable to handle the ship, whilst I also stepped on board a particularly gloomy looking galleon for the first time as well. Set it ablaze, anchors away. I set to torching the lower decks for a bit of good measure. One chunky Reaper appears out of nowhere. With my trusty spatula in hand, he's flipped off. Back to the helm, sailing away as best as I could, and then...
By being a fuckwit? What are you doing, bro?
I had made a friend. The Human Torch blazes me out of existence, and I go to join my newfound galleon mate on the Ferry of the Damned.
What the fuck with for? You'll be, yeah, why?
With his generous donation, I see the soft glow of the galleon fade off into the distance, only to crash into the rocks. The biggest bird was flipped. In-game hours passed as we rushed to beat the boss as soon as we could, only for another brig crew to catch us off guard. In all honesty, Waffle Junkie had given them a good pounding whilst defending our ship, which I don't think the other crew were expecting. A quick barrage of balls exchanged, it seemed somehow we got the upper hand, and sunk them. We finished the fort, spotted another ship, and then the fog rolled in. Jackpack had spotted a ship briefly, but then lost it in the fog. The same brig had come back fast. As the other two were scouring the island for supplies and hiding the chest, I was left on guard to defend the ship. It was eerie. Climbing the mast revealed just about enough of something, but nothing revealing. The deadening sound of not a lot happening. It was unnerving. And then, just as I was positioning the ship to harpoon the loot, a shadow caught my eye. Just like that, a few lucky cannonballs had hit the other crew, and it was all over. Other times it's not enemy crews, but in fact your own crew that brings your mad push for the chest to an end. As we were beginning to stockpile some kegs, a tactic we had learned from other players in open crew, I noticed they were being placed precariously close to the ship, in a storm. Now as a keg connoisseur myself, I normally wouldn't mind, but
it's an intimidation. Oh shit!
Oh fuck!
Oh my god!
It blew up the one in my head too.
Oh no!
there are occasions where you're just not that lucky, and other players are just better than you with this whole ship thing. So, you resort to a strategy called tucking. What tucking is in the community is hiding yourself away using the in-game animations into impossibly cramped places where the model of your character is generally harder to be seen. Whether that is using the hide emote, sleep emote, or alternatively the barrel emote that can be purchased from the Bilge Rats vendor for doubloons, it's a strategy to allow all of the hard work to be done whilst you pinch the jewel of every pirate's eye. One thing you should note with this, however, the mermaid is adamant to help you on your quest to return to your ship. It can be seen by the more eagle-eyed player as it bobs in the water waving its hand around. If you manage to seclude yourself in a safe place, then now is often a time to make yourself a quick cup of tea to calm those nerves whilst you wait for the jingle. When the trumpets announce that your friends have finished the fort, the real heist is on. Depending on where you're located, you need to have a sharp eye out for where they so diligently secure your Yoki box of fortune for your consideration. Attempt to avoid contact, for once they know that you're there, you'll have the ire of the entire crew chasing you down. And it's a long swim without so much of a rowboat to call your own and sharks at your heels. Alternatively, you can hide it in the sand somewhere and hope that they didn't notice the disturbed sand. Without a map bundle to locate it, their options of finding it are heavily reduced. Sometimes you're with a crew who are just mad enough to not only invite ships to pay you a visit, but even ships from an alternative server. Cue the madness when we decide that being invaded is the right move to keep us on our toes. Fortunately, being able to use the fort as our defense, we had plenty of kegs to use with our fun-loving dive bombers.
I'm in.
Drop it, like, drop it!
I'm going down to the bottom.
No, they saw me and they killed me.
I lit it at the very bottom. Where's the stove?
Did you run or did you run?
No, it killed me, but it blew up.
And once the invader had been sunk, we had enough time to finish what we had started. But when you see one galleon, that generally means there's more. And in no time at all, we noted that our ever-vigilant and heroic Athena ship was hot on our tails for our glorious bounty. With several kegs in hand, we attempted to fend them off in a chase. But as unmaneuverable as the galleon is, these guys seemed to avoid every attempt we made to slow them down.
Okay.
Catching as much wind as we possibly could, we went headlong into the rocks and swung around them using harpoons to continue our rush back to the Reaper's hideout.
Oh, I got one. Hold on. There you go. There you go. Got it. Holy shit.
The Athena crew were not so lucky. A gap had been created.
Nice.
As we sailed by the Reaper's hideout, the crew split up. We set about selling the Chest of Fortune and the Chest of Legends,
It's like a Black Ops mission.
with just enough time to get back to defend against the Athena ship, who had since caught up.
I don't know if this holds.
Oh,
Broadside to broadside, somehow we gained the upper hand and sent the boarders.
I think they're dead. I'm relatively sure they're dead.
Victory was ours.
I'm not sure. I got
As mentioned, the Fort of Fortune does tend to bring ships from all corners of the globe to this one specific location. Whether you're surviving ship after ship, or there is a cluster of 5 ships in one spot, there is no doubt that things can get pretty chaotic very fast. Whilst I was solo slooping, it seemed like this was the case, as sloop after sloop, brig after brig, it just did not seem to stop. No matter how many people I fended off, they kept returning, and just when it seemed I was on my last legs, Tommy Shommy had joined my game.
Hey, welcome.
With a crewmate now on board, my chances of survival increased. After defending ourselves, we had finally managed to finish the fort. Disappointingly, I know, to our fans, as we saw a brig fast approaching, we had to leave the Athena kegs behind and set sail for the fort. Harpooning around the island, our first thought was to crash, cash, and dash. But Tommy had a change of heart. We had nothing left to lose, and they wanted their pound of flesh. In true skill-based fashion, Tom rammed the other ship. It is, after all, the best strategy, and began the boarding process. I was whipped up in the frenzy and joined the fray. Why not go down in style? But we weren't the ones sinking.
Finish it off.
They were.
Oh, I missed the ball. Alright, I'm back on board now. Yep. No, they're done though. No. Yeah, they're done though.
The Fort of Fortune event creates so much carnage in one space that it's just too much of a fun opportunity to pass up. On the rare case that nobody has shown up to the party, be sure to make the most of the time you have. It won't be long before a newly joined player catches wind and makes their way to it as their first target. Keep an eye on the horizon, in the waters nearby, and even in the skies for airborne pirates. Do not trust your surroundings. Familiarize yourself with every corner of your ship in case something stands out, because as much as you have etched your name on the side of that chest of fortune, it's not yours until you've sold it.
Bank. Holy fuck. 100k.